right, and welcome back, everybody, to NFL Chalk Talk. I'm your host, Dash. My co-host, Eric and Puffy, may be late tonight. As you know, the government reopened, and they're doing their duty. Uh, so we got a little bit to talk about before they come on. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday night. We're getting ready for the who we got tonight. The Patriots and the Jets at the Patriots. That's coming up in about an hour-ish or so. So that'll be going. And then we got some games to talk about. But let's kind of recap. We watched the dismantling of the Buffalo Bills this past weekend. The Miami Dolphins handed the Bills one of the worst defeats of the besides the Atlanta Falcons. I think Atlanta kind of put it on Buffalo, but Miami, who most had written off, looked like they were the team that we all wanted them to be at the beginning of the season. So yeah, that was pretty devastating to the Bills. So can they recover? Can they rebound this weekend? We'll find out. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And speaking of the Buccaneers, have to overcome their loss. I think they were taken down by who was it? I'm losing my mind nowadays. Yeah, New England just beat them. Tampa Bay couldn't do the last minute drive like they've done at the beginning of the year. So New England's riding high. And that's some of the key things that we'll be talking about. Houston overcoming a 19-point deficit in the fourth quarter to come back and I mean the Jaguars had no answer for anything for the Texans there in that fourth quarter, which was wild to me. One of the best comebacks. Plus, it helped my defense on fantasy, so I'm not complaining about that. We talked about, the Buffalo Bills were dominated by Miami. Just, that snapped their streak against Miami. Miami hadn't won in a while against them, and then Philadelphia edges. That might have been the worst game. I don't know about how you guys feel about it, but that might have been the worst game of the week besides Thursday night's game. Thursday night's game with the Denver Broncos and the Raiders. Good Lord. And as you can see under my name there, it says, is growing tired of bad football. And I feel like that's exactly what the 2025 season is. It's just bad football. Eric, Puffy, and I, we've discussed this on several occasions, how we think that the season is bad. And it started on Thursday night with just bad football, and it ended on Monday night with bad football. I don't know. I don't know if there's any way that 2025 can get over the hump of just being bad football. Yeah, we're going to still see teams in the playoffs, as every year we do. There's no denying that. We're going to see possibly teams that we didn't even think that would be in the playoffs this year. The Rams are looking good. The Patriots are looking good. The Patriots are making an argument to be one of the best teams in football right now, along with the Lions. The Rams are making an argument to be one of the best teams. And let me bring my co-host in here, and we'll get going. And there's Eric. I'm glad to see you, my friend. Welcome. I know you were working, but now is it true that you're now getting paid? Is that the rumor that's going on there? You're on mute, bud. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's what they tell me. I'll believe it when I see it, though.
Well, I'm glad that that fiasco is over, and when we appreciate you every day for doing the job that you do for our country. So
Amen.
We appreciate that.
Amen. I know Puffy's glad to be back. I know he's He's probably still in his office right now.
Yeah. I think when he texted me his picks for tonight, I think he was still in the office. So Puffy, if you're out there watching and listening, we miss you, buddy. And I'm glad that you're back to work as well. I was just talking. I mean, as you know, growing tired of bad football. I was talking about. I mean, it started on Thursday night with the Broncos and the Raiders. Again, just dull football. Again, I'm not expecting blowout after blowout, but it just was not exciting football. It was bland. It was dull. Monday night, literally the same score as Thursday night, but bland, dull, and boring. I mean, it's gotten to the point where even AJ Brown is like, if you have me on your fantasy football team, don't start me.
Yeah.
I mean, he is voicing some huge displeasure, and rightfully so. I think I don't know. But we talked about this in weeks prior. We don't know what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles' offensive schemes and offensive strategies. You have the best running back, if not arguably the best running back in the NFL right now. You know, a couple arguments can be made for a couple other running backs, but you have a 2,000-yard rusher the year prior, and he's not even going to come nowhere close to that this year. What is the problem? Wait, we got him. I thought you were at work.
I was.
Look at that.
Oh, well, welcome back.
You made it.
I am glad that you're at work, or you were at work, is what I should say. I'm glad you were at work today.
Yes.
But we're talking about the Eagles right now. Just and what is the problem in Philadelphia? Anyway, I mean, they're winning. Sure. I get all my Eagles fan. Well, they're winning, but they're not the same team. You cannot. I don't care if you win. You're not the same team that dominated the NFL last year.
You asking me?
No, I was talking to Eric.
Okay.
Either one.
Good.
I mean, yeah, it's their scheme. They've totally gotten away from what made them so good last year. And I actually thought they would learn from what they did 2 weeks ago when Saquon had 150 yards rushing. I thought they would get to that, but they've gotten completely away from the scheme of running the ball. I imagine losing Kellen Moore probably has something to do with it. I wouldn't think that it would, but you look at what he's able to do in New Orleans with probably a couple of second string quarterbacks. Those guys are efficient. They're terrible. So you can see Kellen Moore is doing something with that offense. So I think losing Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator, I think that has had an impact. And again, just completely getting away from the running game and stuff is not helping. They're on pace for less than 500 total attempts for the year.
Yeah.
Less than 300. Man, total attempts for the year, and that's very, very low.
Yeah, like we said, he will not come close to 2,000 yards. Obviously, we're just a few games away, unless he rushes for 300 yards in the next 7 games. It's just not going to be possible for him to get 2,000. Puffy, what are you seeing in Philadelphia?
Yeah, lethargic offense, big time. I mean, Eric's spot on. They're not executing the way that they used to execute. And Kellen Moore. I wasn't a fan when he was at Dallas. It just wasn't. But he's creative, and he knows how to manage a football game, and he's proving that in New Orleans. Even though they've only won 2 games, They've been in just about every single
Yeah.
game that they played, except for maybe one or two.
Yeah.
So, they've kind of lost their way. Barkley, MVP. I mean, run the horse. I mean, that should be the focus of that offense, and it just isn't. And it's they're kind of in trouble. I mean, yeah, they're winning, but when you get towards the end of the year and you start playing those winter games and, close games in the weather and, it's snowing or it's windy. I mean, you got to rely on that running game, and they're just not there. They're just not.
You can sit, like I said, my Eagles fans, well, they're winning, and that's not going to win you games in the playoffs. Right. The way that they're winning right now, it's not going to win you games in the playoffs. You're probably going to see a first round out if you continue playing the way that you are right now. If they go up against the Rams again, they lose. There's no doubt in my mind. If they go up against the Rams again, they lose. And they could possibly lose to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers played the Patriots fantastic. Some weather played issues in that game, but I mean, and they come up short again on a game-winning drive. But I still think the Buccaneers are still one of the better teams in the NFC. The Lions obviously are, with Dan Campbell taking over the play calling duties on offense. Let me get your thoughts on that. Does that create more of a issue in the long run with him taking over? I know what he said in his press conference. I know what he said after they asked him the question. He's like, no, that's not. I'm just taking over. That's just the way we're going to do it. Do you foresee a long-term problem with that issue with the offensive coordinator and Dan Campbell, or was that the right move? Puffy, what do you think?
I mean, it'll probably be internally. It'll be an issue. Depends on how much that offensive coordinator is providing input. I mean, there are a lot of head coaches that call the plays, and the OC is just giving them advice. So it could work, but who knows? To snatch that away mid-season, that there could be some internal strife. I think it's a good thing for the Lions, though. I think it gave them a kind of a shot in the arm. They played the Commanders, but I think it helps them.
They still look like a totally different offensive team in that game, though.
Yeah. I mean, they were executing. It was one of Goff's very efficient games. Very good. I mean, that's the Goff that we're used to seeing. The Goff of last year, where he was super efficient, and now he was super efficient in that game. The running game worked really well. Ball was spread around. I mean, if it works, do it.
And this is a question I had. I didn't see it anywhere. But I'm gonna ask it. Should we get rid of the OCs and just let the offensive mind coaches that the head coaches that are offensive head minds? Should we just leave them to call on the plays, Eric, or is the OC absolutely necessary?
Well, I think an offensive coordinator is necessary to implement the game plan. Now, if the coach decides to call the plays, the head coach decides to call the plays, that's an in-game thing where we always say the enemy gets a vote. So if you have a 3rd and 6 and the offensive coordinator likes to run this play, the head coach is thinking, no matter what I do here, I'm going to go for it on 4th down. So I want to run this play. And an offensive coordinator doesn't really like that. That's the vibe I'm getting that happened, in Detroit. Dan Campbell, he wants to own it. And, the head coach has that right. So, you look at what he did, 2nd most points they've scored all year besides the 52 they put up against Chicago in week 2. But look, most total yards this year, most yards rushing this year. They didn't have a single turnover. They pretty much did anything they wanted to do. And I saw a video where Dan Campbell called a play and then started celebrating the touchdown before it even happened. That was that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. He called it, and he's like,
that's
he
the one
knew
where
it was coming.
I think it's the one where he got punched in the face too.
I don't know if that was that. You talking about the same sequence? It might have been.
I think it was the same where Amon-Ra got punched by the. Oh God! Just again.
Yeah. So
lends credence to the. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
So I think it's totally up to the head coach. We've talked about this before, where what seems to be the right recipe for these winning teams right now, it's an offensive-minded head coach who runs the offense, and then it's your defensive coordinator, stout defensive coordinator, but the head coach literally lets that guy do whatever he wants to do and doesn't say anything other than get me the ball. You know what I mean? And maybe a pep talk. And that's what's worked in the National Football League these last few years. Name me a defensive coordinator that's won the Super Bowl. I don't think I can, at least in the modern era of football.
Not in the modern era of football, no.
Yeah. So,
and the only reason I bring that up is because I'm starting to see, like I said, here in Oklahoma, Brent Venables is calling the defense. So, but he's a defensive-minded guy, and he has one of the top-ranked defenses. And so I'm just wondering, and that's the only reason I'm starting, because I'm seeing it in pros and college. But I was wondering if that's the way some of the things should go. Just let the head coach make those. If he's a defensive mind, let him run the defense, and you have an OC. Or if he's an offensive-minded head coach, let him call the plays, and like you said, let the stout defensive OC just do that. You're down. You don't need it. You don't need a coordinator per se on which side ever those. I don't know. Again, that was one of the best football games, like you said, besides the Bears game. That was one of the best football games I saw Detroit play all year, and because there was no turnovers, there was efficient. Again, it's on a depleted Washington team, but. It still was. I mean, that was almost a 100% across the board, 100%. Like I don't know if I could barely downgrade them on anything. Like I would almost give that 100% on the offense. Speaking of dismantling, what was it that and the Dolphins snapped a huge losing streak to the Bills? What was it that they did different? I mean,
it's crazy.
that blew my mind.
Brandy and I, we were in a bar in New Orleans, and they have individual TVs at tables, and people are watching the game. So we parked ourselves right next to the Bills table. There were no Dolphin fans in the room. And I made it known. I did not make it known. So, because you know how that goes. So, and there were a bunch of Patriot fans in there too. So, they executed. I mean, the running game went very well. They opened holes for Achane, and I said it last week. That defensive line of Miami gave Josh Allen fits. They were in his face. I mean, they touched him a few times, but they were in his face nearly every single play, and I think that's a tremendous improvement going through the season for them. That defensive line play is just it's Achane and that defensive line. There's nothing else that's really going on with that team right now. And Tua executed. I don't know. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall that he was going to get replaced if they lost that football game. It was glorious. It was best Dolphin performances I've seen. Just a solid football game. And I will say the play calling was a little bit different. McDaniels, I don't know if he got rid of his because he's been super conservative all year. But in that game, he was not. He was calling very innovative plays that I have not seen before. So I think that was key.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
My son literally whispered over to me. He's like, did they say if you lose this game, you're gone today?
Maybe.
Because,
we all expected McDaniel to be fired and Tua to be benched, and they went out and beat the frickin' Bills. That no one, man, I want to be the guy in Vegas that won that bet.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
that's all I can say. I mean, it just they executed. They executed like an NFL football team. I mean, they did against the Falcons too, but those two games should be the blueprint for how the Dolphins execute all year. And where has that been? It wasn't against the Jets. It wasn't against the Panthers. It wasn't against the Browns. I don't get it. That's why I'm like, I just don't know what's going on in the NFL.
Well, they get a chance to show it again against the Commanders this week. You just follow the Lions' game plan against the Commanders, and you might just do the same thing. Eric and my team, I think our teams were off this past weekend. But that's what I noticed about. They did win, didn't they? Yeah,
Saints won. It played very well too.
Oh yeah, against the Panthers. But I noticed that's kind of what the Patriots did against the Buccaneers. They got to Baker. They
did.
I would have not seen. It's like that offensive line had never played before. Is what I was watching in that game. Eric, do you agree, or did you see that game?
So I did not. I did not watch that game. We saw the last. Because the Saints game moved over to it when that game was out, and so what I was able to see it was, other than the first kind of quarter and a half, New England kind of dictated the terms of that game as it progressed, even though held the ball for longer. New England capitalized mostly when they needed to, so they kind of took advantage of the moments that they were in and, kind of kept Tampa Bay from being able to, really build a rhythm. I thought it was probably one of May's worst games of the day of the season. He's actually been really, really good this year. But if you make Baker throw the ball 43 times, that's probably not good. Now, yes, he can sling it, but if you're making any quarterback throw 43 times, you're also usually behind the chains. And that's what I saw New England was able to do. I don't think any of us saw this, but as I look at this season, New England is and Indianapolis, they're probably the two most complete teams performative this season that have just consistently week in and week out played that kind of high level football that you need to win, and letting other teams do dumb things to put themselves in losing situations that, like I said, New England seems to capitalize on.
New England might arguably be the best football team in the NFL right now.
They were. So I watched that game too. It was a great place to watch all the games. So and there's a lot of noise coming from those people. They had Tampa Bay fans and New England fans in there. They're just going nuts. That game was very physical, very, very physical, especially at the line on both sides. But I think the key also was Henderson. Henderson had two runs, total of 134 yards.
Yeah.
He had 2 big touchdowns in that game, and it was just hard to recover from those 2 touchdowns. No matter what Baker was trying to do, he was trying to will that team to win. And it was very physical, very, very physical, smash mouth kind of football. It was a fun game to look at when I wasn't watching my game.
Yeah, that was one of the best football games over the weekend for sure.
And that was
go ahead.
That was a really important game particularly for the Patriots, because they have one of the weakest schedules in the league, and they had to go to Tampa to play one of the better teams in the NFC. So they needed to show mostly themselves that they were capable of it, because up to that point, the only other team that they played with a winning record was the Bills, and they beat them also 23-20. You look at the other teams they've played, they beat the brakes off of the Saints. They've played the Vikings. They've played the Falcons. I think they played the Browns. So they have not had a tough schedule at all. And then if you look at their schedule moving on, other than the Bills, obviously they got to play, they don't have really a tough schedule moving forward. So they needed a win like this to show themselves that they were capable of competing literally at the highest level in the league.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agreed, and I kind of think Indianapolis did the same thing with that miraculous win there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That
was like a letdown game for them that they almost let get away.
I mean, that was a trap game for sure.
It was a trap game,
but it was still that. I mean, we talked about that before. In any level of football, if you can overcome everything and still win the football game, that I think that's a testament to that you're a good football team. And man, you nailed it. I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season saw Indianapolis, and this is worldwide, and saw Indianapolis and New England doing as well as they are in the 2025 season. And that's what I said before you guys jumped on. Like, we're going to see teams in the playoffs we haven't seen in a while. The Indianapolis Colts, the Patriots, and the Rams are playing good. The Rams are on the uptick right now. Whether that was the B team on San Francisco or not, they still handled the Niners like just. That was a well-played football game by the Rams as well. So that was a pretty decent game that I watched. Some of the things that are coming up, obviously, we'll talk about some of the previews here in a minute, but I want to get back to that, the A.J. Brown and how is this, is this really going to affect the Eagles going forward? He's not happy. He's in fact, he's talking about alignment between players and coaches and things like that. I think that was one of the things that came out was there's some civil war. I don't want to say civil war, but there's a split in the Eagles, I think. And we talked about a little bit earlier, but that's the kind of things you cannot have happen going into the postseason. Is that a distraction? Is that a distraction that they need to get rid of, or do you keep him and because he's not satisfied? I don't think he's happy in Philadelphia at all right now. Maybe that changes if he gets the ball more. I don't know, but. Is that a distraction that you should get rid of now? Eric, what do you think?
No, I mean, no, you're past the trade deadline, and it's still AJ Brown. So, you get to the playoffs and it becomes a completely different argument. I don't think he's helping. I don't think he's helping the team at all by being like this. They're still 7-2. and they're still winning football games. And they do have one of the toughest schedules in the league. And they're still doing it despite their best player, which is not A.J. Brown, performing to the level. Saquon Barkley should have 25 touches a game, which means A.J. Brown is not going to have very many touches, and he should probably realize that. But because he's that prototypical wide receiver that wants to get the ball and wants it to be about him, and then when you ask him directly, you say, "Well, I think I can help the team. I think my talents are good. I can get us over the top." But I mean, they're still winning football games, so I don't think you definitely can't get rid of him. This isn't one of those Keyshawn Johnson things where you just bench him for the rest of the year and you make them non-participant. I don't think he'll let it get to that level, but also they need him to advance in the playoffs. They got to get Rams, Tampa Bay, and they're going to need A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it's not like Jalen Hurts was slinging the ball over the place. I mean, he only completed 15 passes in that game, and Barkley touched the ball. He touched the ball 25 times.
25 times
in that game. So I mean, come on, get over yourself, Super Bowl champion. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I mean, they're 7-2. I don't get it. I don't get it. What the deal is in Philly or with him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then the one thing that didn't surprise me that did happen this weekend, because I think we all saw the writing on the wall, was Dayball finally getting the axe. That doesn't change. I mean, I don't know. I feel always feel bad for coaches getting shafted in the season, but I mean, we kind of knew this one was coming. So what's the step forward for the Giants now? I don't think you can blame. I kind of wish Dayball's a good coach. I talk smack about him obviously because he's the East, and I have to. Rivals with Dallas and everything, so I have to kind of talk smack about him. But he is a decent coach. But what's the step forward now for the Giants?
Is that me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, Mike Kafka, he's an offensive guy, and he was already their offensive coordinator. He's now he was also their assistant head coach, so they just kind of promoted him to interim. And he's not he's a young guy, so it's really kind of I would imagine it would be his to lose. They are really high on Jackson Dart, and he has performed pretty well. So I think you get that dump bump that we've talked about, and so maybe the team will rally around Kafka. He does have good history. He's worked for Andy Reid, and Brian Daboll is a good offensive coordinator, so he'll get a job somewhere as an offensive coordinator. Maybe Buffalo, would be a good spot for him moving forward. I mean, the Giants are in rebuild mode yet again, and I think they give Mike Kafka a ride and see what it looks like for him.
Yeah, speaking of dump bump, they just dumped I can't even think of his name now. They're going to move Winston up to second string, and Russell Wilson's going to drop down to third string. Does that help in a way, Puffy? Is that a smart move?
Well, you got to throw you got to get some, passion into that team, and Jameis Winston does that better than anybody. So,
true.
On any team, when he was at FSU, when he was at New Orleans, when he was, name a team that he was on, Browns. I mean, he always that dude, man. He was singing in his last.
Why don't you jump off sides?
Yeah, I mean, he's
actually starting.
Yeah, he's
He's
starting.
starting. Yeah,
So,
because
I think Dieball survives if Scatterboo didn't get injured. I think he would have survived because he is that kind of smash mouth kind of coach, physical. But you lost your biggest physical presence on the team, and the second most vocal to Jameis, with Scatterboo. I mean, that dude, man. They got to build around Dart and him, and and I think that's where they were going with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back, and it just with him getting injured for the year, that was it. That was if any hope or any kind of mediocre season, 8-win season, 7-win season for your first year with those two. It all went out the window when he got hurt. So I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, I do think Dayball keeps his job if Scatterboo is still on the team or uninjured, and it's just sad situation.
Ooh.
I don't like any coach. Even I might not like the coach, period, but I don't think anybody should be fired in the season. Except for LSU. I'm all right with that firing. Brian Kelly, get on. No, I'm kidding.
Well, don't kid, because in Louisiana they all think that as well.
Yeah,
They didn't like him at LSU.
Yeah.
It would. I just don't know. Again, I wasn't happy with most of the football games. I know your teams won. As you guys saw, that I said the best thing that happened to me that day was Dallas didn't play because I didn't need that kind of negativity in my life. So, I don't, man. It's just. But I'm not. I mean, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it play out on ESPN and Fox Sports, and now it's hitting the major. CBS. Even they're saying some of the football just stinks.
Mm-hmm.
And
heard it too.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
We were the first.
But congratulations to Drew Brees, going to be calling the games. You got him a spot on. Is it Fox? I think you got a spot on Fox.
Yeah, because Sanchez beat up the DoorDash driver.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go there. But since you brought it up, yeah, he dismantled a DoorDash driver. So.
And I like Mark Sanchez as an announcer too.
Yeah, he's good.
Drew, here's what I say to you, Drew. Do good enough that you can go take over for Joe Buck, or maybe Chris Collinsworth,
I understand that one.
Or go ahead and kick Tom Brady out. I'm all right with that.
I got bad news for y'all. I don't see it coming. I personally was not a fan when Drew was at NBC. I love the guy as a quarterback. I have concerns about his ability to call the game. I'm excited for him. Obviously, he's one of my favorite football players of all time. As an announcer, I was not a fan.
You know what we have to look forward to, right? We're going to have Chris Collinsworth's son and guy from the Giants, his son. I can't think of his name. He played at Texas. Sims. We're gonna have Sims and Collinsworth. That's what we're stuck with in the future, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
And his Chris Collinsworth's son's just going to be. My dad used to say. I could just see it. I can't listen to any of. I seriously, I can't listen to. I know this is bad, we're getting on a tangent. Well, it's not a tangent so much, but I just can't. I can't listen to Tom Brady. Lorena makes me put it on mute when Tom Brady comes on, because she's like, is he going to talk about himself again? I mean, yeah, he is, babe. He is, but he can't. I mean, he can. I don't take that away from him. He can talk about himself because he is a 7-time champ. But
I endorse you putting him on mute.
I think she wants him to. She wants him to look at the screen. Stop looking at Kevin. Like he looks at Kevin and doesn't talk to the camera. He talks to Kevin, and then he'll look back at the camera and go,
"Yeah."
We got. I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble. You like Tom Brady in the booth, and you're starting J.J. McCarthy over Bo Nix. That doesn't tell me anything. Oh, shots fired. Hey, in my defense, she did say we are the biggest sports rivalry in the world. She posted that there because I asked, what's the best sports rivalry? She goes, Dash and Amber. And so, I mean, she's. So does my husband. So does my husband. Hey, it's all right. You guys can like him, and Puffy and I can endorse the muting.
The hate is real.
So Puffy has personal hate.
Yeah,
I
hate.
Yeah, I get it. No, he's not. He's really not that. I mean, I don't think he's that bad.
To me, he's like a little kid. I like the excitement, and if he does this a while, what's that?
He's a terrible human.
No, he's. I don't really mind him. It really is Collinsworth and Joe Buck. God,
I don't know where Collinsworth gets his. I think he's attached to some kind of electrode, and somebody zaps him and he just spews. Nothing.
Yeah, the whole. What did Tarico goes? It's a doinker it was something by the kicker and Collinsworth's stupid laugh. I'm done. Mike Tirico's fine. I love Mike Tirico, but
yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah,
I like Mike Tirico.
I think I'm standing by my wife's side on the Tom Brady thing. She wants to get rid of him, so she's with you. But that's pretty much it for the past week. Obviously, we have some games this week. We're just 45 minutes to an hour away from the kickoff between the Jets and the Patriots. That should be, unless the Jets get too wild and crazy punt returns and kick returns for touchdowns. I don't know if they can survive the Patriots. But you said that was Drake May's worst thing. What does he got to do tonight against the Jets to just put the Jets away? Eric, what do you think?
Hand the ball off to Travion Henderson and let him run wild. I mean, they don't have to do really much at all. The Patriots just have to do exactly what they've done all year long, and that's control the line of scrimmage and control the tempo, and not turn the ball over. And that's it. They're averaging 26 points a game, and the Jets are nowhere near close to that. So they just got to continue to do what they're doing.
What do the Jets have to do tonight, Puffy, to stop the Patriots from just running over them? Seriously, just running over them.
The only way is to stop Henderson, control the line, and don't let May get wild and throw those deep passes. It's the only way. May could really not solidify, but more solidify his case for MVP if he has a really, really good game tonight, which he could. He could have a really good game tonight. But the Jets, they just have they have to execute perfectly on both sides of the ball. Control the lines. Yep, they have to control the lines. I will say this is a trap game for the Patriots. They won an emotional win at Tampa on a semi-short week or on a short week. This has trap game written all over it. Even as bad as the Jets are, it could be a lot closer than people think.
Well, it is Thursday, so yeah, that factor does exist.
Yeah. Gruden just was on a campaign to end Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Gruden's talking about stop Thursday Night Football, just get rid of Thursday Night Football and be done with it. I'm
you
not
ask most players and coaches, and they don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all. We got. I don't know if this is like a great weekend. You know, we got the Jets Patriots tonight. A few good matchups. We got the Bucks, the Bills. We'll talk about that one here in just a minute. Chiefs, Broncos, and Lions, Eagles. I think that pretty much rounds out the top games.
Seattle Rams would be a good matchup.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, that will be a good match. I mean, division. The Rams control their destiny in the division right now. If they just got to beat. But they looked unbeatable. They were just on all cylinders, like literally firing all cylinders in that Niners game.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have the Bucks at the Bills. Bucks going into Buffalo. I don't know if I've seen them play each other in a while. I don't know if this might be the first matchup I've seen between Baker and Josh Allen. So Puffy? What do the Bills need to do to contain Baker and Ibuka and all them?
Play like the Bills. Play like the Bills that are supposed to be on that football field. If they play like they played against Miami, this game's not even going to be close. Baker's going to exploit them all freaking day. So, especially with the receiving core that they have, Tua was having his way pretty much. So, and Baker, we know how he's probably one of the best think on your feet quarterbacks in the NFL. So, Bills have to play stout defense to win this football game or be on the same planet with the Bucks. They just have to. I think on the other side, Bills just have to execute. I think the Bills can move the ball, but that the defense is the key. Bills defense has to stop Baker.
I mean, Eric, that's probably the weakness of the Bills is the defense. And that's what Baker can exploit, right?
They're in the running game for sure. That's where I think that's where Tampa Bay's kind of at a little disadvantage. They have one of the worst rushing attacks in the league this year, and it just so happens that the Bills are one of the one of the worst teams in the league against the run. So that's a disadvantage for Tampa. Also, the Bills happen to be the best rushing team in the league in terms of yardage per game. They're averaging over 150 yards a game. And that's not good for Tampa. So, this is if as long as Buffalo can get out of their way and not rely on Josh Allen, which is what they've historically done, is put too much on Josh Allen's shoulders.
Yeah.
If they put this game in the hands of Cook and then when needed, let Allen do what Allen does best, they will probably win this game fairly easily. But if they continue to try to come out and throw, I think that's a recipe. I think what they're going to do is do it ultimately happened with Buffalo, and then what they lost a couple weeks ago to somebody else where you're like, how did they lose this game? Yes. You let them get in it, and then the next thing you know, you're out. Tampa Bay is not going to allow you to make those mistakes. They'll just whoop you if you continue to make a lot of mistakes. But if Buffalo controls the clock, controls the line of scrimmage by literally running the ball, using what is primarily their strength against a team that's weak in that area, they should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I think that was Bucky's first game back, right? Was against the Patriots in a while. I can't remember if he's. I know Bucky Irvin was hurt for a little bit, so if he's getting healthy again, that should be a good indicator if they can run the ball for the Buccaneers. So we have Chiefs Broncos again. Are the Chiefs done? Are they out of it if they lose to the Broncos, Eric?
No, you can't count them out until they're statistically out. I would say their chances of winning the division are shot, especially because right now Denver controls destiny in that, and they've already beat them once. Mm-hmm. So if they come out and and Denver wins this, then I think Kansas City's chances of winning the division are out.
Yeah, that ruins a string of almost 2 decades, isn't it? I mean, I feel like it's almost 2 decades that they've been winning that division. Yeah, it's not,
but it feels like.
Yeah, it sure feels like it. At least almost a decade. I would say almost a decade of them winning the division. So what do the Broncos have to do to beat the Chiefs, Puffy?
Defense. Broncos defense is stout. So that's the key to the game. Denver's defense, they have the ability to shut down any offense when they're rolling, and Kansas City will be no different on that. So I think the Broncos have a really good shot at shutting down Mahomes. They don't have much of a running game. I mean, we've talked about this the last couple of years. Yeah. The Chiefs just will to win. You got to to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Mm-hmm. So the Broncos, if a win tonight will propel the Broncos, to possibly winning the division and maybe even competing to be the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
It'll be a really big deal. But yeah, defense is the key. Knicks just can't throw any interceptions. If he doesn't throw any interceptions, they run the ball pretty well. Yeah, Broncos can dictate the game.
The Broncos that played the Cowboys have to be the Broncos that play the Chiefs this weekend, where they're just. I mean, that was almost like flawless football. The Broncos playing against Cowboys was almost flawless.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to do to beat the Chiefs again, I think. So, and then obviously Sunday night we have the Lions at the Eagles. Do the Eagles? That's the biggest question we've been talking about the entire show is, do the Eagles have what it takes to beat the Lions this year? Do they? Or is there just too much going on in Philadelphia, Puffy?
Well, yeah, they have all kinds of distractions. Super Bowl champions. Yeah, it's just too much. And you have your number one receiver unhappy. And that is never good. I experienced that with Miami, with Hill, being vocal. Pretty much said he was done. And the same kind of thing is happening in Philly, and that goes down into the locker room. So, the Lions are on an upswing. They got their head coach calling plays. They're being more innovative, more controlling. They got the running game rocking and rolling with both running backs, Montgomery and Gibbs. They've got 2 really good receivers, good tight end. I mean, this has Lions written all over it. But the Eagles have got to just get out of their head and get their crap together for them to be competitive in this game. Because the Lions I think they could take full advantage of what's going on in Philly.
Yeah. Eric, I mean, we just talked about it. Does Dan Campbell continue to do the play calling like he did in the last game? Is that the key to beating the Eagles?
Yeah, I think it's a key. They have a lot of talent on that team, and they got the sixth best rushing team in the league. And the Eagles aren't great at stopping the run. I think the recipe for success is there. I think Detroit can actually put a whooping on them with the way this matchup is looking. The only difference is the only thing in my mind balancing is that this game is in Philadelphia, which is a tough place for anybody to play.
That's usually tough to play.
Philly fans are notorious. Love them or hate them, they're notorious, and they're going to make it hard for Detroit to play. But
as long as Santa
Dan
Claus
Campbell
is
has
there,
instilled an attitude that should be overcomable in that environment. But I think you stick to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and you will be just fine.
Yeah, they gotta be dominant in the run game. They have to win the rush. They have to absolutely win the rush game, and that to A, keep time possession on their side, and B, keep Jalen and them guys off the field. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a tough matchup. That's all I know. And yeah, like you said, playing in Philly is never fun. Just like I said, just ask Santa Claus. I think he's taken a snowball off the face or an ice ball off the face a couple of times in Philly. All right, well, like I said, that was our previews. We got the games. We're in a new studio, getting everything moved over, so we'll have everything up next week as far as our board goes. And plus, I wasn't ready to move into the new studio, so that's on me. That's on me. Yeah, we just finally got the new studio for it. So we'll get everything up and ready next week. Everybody's back to normal. Like I said, we got Puffy and back to work. Eric's back to work or at work, but getting paid, which is a good thing. It's always a good thing to get paid when you're actually absolutely working. So we'll get everything back. So we'll just get through these games real quick. So we just talked about it. Jets, Patriots. Let's get our final picks. Puffy, Jets or Patriots?
Patriots in an absolute rout, but it's a trap game.
Yeah,
but I think they win big.
All right, Eric, who do you got in tonight's game?
Patriots.
Yeah, I am going with the Patriots as well. I mean, like I said, unless the Jets come off with a miraculous kickoff and punt return and get 2 scores ahead, I don't think they can be. That's the only way they can stay in games because Fields is not the answer. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Kyler Murray in a Jets uniform next year. Commanders, Dolphins. Puffy, break it down for us.
So I don't know which team's going to show up. So it depends. Depends. It's the team against the Bills and the Falcons, or the team that played the Browns and the Jets and the Panthers. I am going to go with the team that played the Bills. I think they're going to win 2 in a row, and take care of a depleted Commanders team.
Very good. Eric, what say you?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins win this one. Commanders a little struggling a little bit this year, and I think the Dolphins have a little more going for them than Washington does.
Well, the good news for Daniels is there was no ligament tear on the dislocated elbow. It's just going to take some healing, so he should be able to make it back for the end of the season. We'll see. But yeah, the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins, if they play like they did against the Bills, I mean, I think McDaniel has just to go in every game. I could be looking at my last game, so he's got to play like that. Tua is the same way. They got to play like every game is the last game for them. So yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. The Commanders, I just think are just are too hurt, and I don't know what they can do. So other than that, we'll move on to the Bears Vikings. Eric, Bears Vikings.
And I think the Bears might win this, but I don't know. I'm not convinced that they're the better overall football team. They happen to be, but I'm going to take the Vikings because to me this is an unknown, and I'm going against my grain. I think the Vikings might pull this one out.
All right, Puffy.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. The Bills didn't really, or the Bears really didn't start playing until 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter against the Giants to win that football game. So, but the Vikings, I mean, they're one of those helter-skelter teams as well that you just don't know what you're going to get, and the quarterback situation and all that. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears to win 2 in a row after that win against the Giants. So, but I think this game could go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost a coin flip kind of game, I think.
Contrary to the score, I think the Vikings really were in that game with the Ravens. I really do think they were in that game. Some bad luck. I like the Vikings too. It's nothing against the Bears. The Bears hold their destiny. I think they're the last. I think they're 7th in the technically in the playoffs right now. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the Bears are.
Yeah, the Bears are in 7th. I mean, so they need this win, but the Vikings at home. The Vikings just got to play like they did against the Lions twice this year to take the Bears out, and so I'm going with the Vikings. And that will be the end of that one. All right, Eric, give us a preview of the Bucks and Bills.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine either one of these teams losing 2 games in a row, but at least Tampa Bay lost to New England, and now they go into a tough environment in Buffalo, whereas Buffalo got smoked by Miami, so they probably have a little more aggression they need to get out, and so they will probably have a better game plan for this game, and I'm predicting right now that Cook rushes for over 125 yards, and that's how they end up winning this game. So I'm taking Buffalo.
Buffy, what say you?
Yeah, both they're going to both come in very emotional. Tough loss for the Bucks, and then the beatdown that they had in Miami, the Bills. I don't know. It depends on who recovers. We'll see it real quick. We'll see it. The first drive or 2, who was affected by their losses. So we'll see. I think this is going to be really close. But the only reason why I'm taking the Bills, I'm going to take the Bills. The only reason is because it's at home. If it was in Tampa Bay, I'd probably take Tampa Bay.
This was the hardest one for me. I think my heart wants to be with Baker in this, and I will be cheering. I mean, because I like the Bills, but my heart will be and my head will be cheering for Baker. But I think the Bills probably bounce back a little bit better than the Bucks. And I'm kind of with you. If this was in Tampa Bay, I probably would go with Tampa Bay. But man, the Bills are just too good at home. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills as well. All right, we got the Bengals at the Steelers. Man, the Steelers look a little lackluster this weekend. I think I don't know if they're happy with Aaron Rodgers. Somebody, I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is the answer in Pittsburgh either. And the Bengals, Joe Flacco. I'm going to take the Steelers. Eric, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers. Cincinnati their defense is absolutely terrible. So if there's a game you want to see Aaron Rodgers play good,
Yeah.
this is the game. Cincinnati's given up 300 points already this year.
Oof.
Wild, terrible defense. So Pittsburgh.
Puffy, what do you got?
Pittsburgh for those exact reasons. I just don't think unless Flacco just goes off. But I don't even think that'll be enough. I think because that defense is so bad. Yeah, Flacco could go off, but I think Rodgers could go off. This could be a classic old school, Flacco against Rodgers, Green Bay, and the Ravens kind of clash. 400 yards each quarterback, 4 touchdowns. It could actually be that. So.
Right.
It might be a very exciting football game just because of the defense, but yeah, I got to go with Pittsburgh. It's just too much. 300 points already. That's ridiculous. I didn't even realize that.
All right, Puffy, we got the Niners at the Cardinals.
So this is an interesting game. Because the Cardinals, you just don't know what team you're going to get. They're part of the NFL that's kind of just weird.
Oh yeah.
In the Niners, I think I saw something right before we went on. Purdy's playing, so I was going to go with the Niners anyway, regardless of Purdy or not. But it's just I just don't know what either one of these two teams are. So, but the Niners have more talent, and that's why I'm going with the Niners.
I mean, yeah, the Niners. Yeah,
it's the NFL. These are the two of the teams that we've been talking about bad football. These are it. These are the two teams, and they're playing each other, and. I just this is a tough one. I think Niners win, and it'll be close.
All right, Eric, who do you got? Niners or Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners, and to me, this will come down to coaching. San Francisco should not be in the position that they're in, given all of the significant injuries that they've had this year. Very key players, and yet. They're not getting whooped. They're not getting, laughed out of these stadiums during these games. They're in it. And, I mean, yeah, granted, the Rams put it to them, but right now the Rams are putting it to everybody. So I think this just comes down to coaching, and the Niners will be more prepared. And if they're not Purdy is in, it wouldn't matter. Mac Jones is actually playing pretty good football.
Yep.
Yeah. It was. The Cardinals are losing Marvin Harrison Jr. He's had appendicitis, so he just had his appendix removed, so he's out. And then Jabroni Brissett. I don't know. That's the new name they're calling him, Jabroni Brissett. So I don't know if the Cardinals can even. They're not playing Dallas, obviously. So the Niners are better than the Cowboys, and I do believe I did see Purdy as starting as well. I think I saw that as well. So if the Niners get healthy, this is a time where if they start getting people back, the Niners can make a nice little run into that playoff spot. So all right, Eric, you got the Chiefs at the Broncos. We highlighted it a little bit, but who's your official pick on this one?
So I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs on this one. I think Andy Reid knows the importance of this game, and he knows that he's got to put it in the hands of his winners. And I think they come out slinging. And I see Patrick Mahomes throwing at least 30, 35 times, and them using the entire football field. And I could actually see a scenario where literally the first play of the game, Patrick Mahomes goes deep to Rashee Rice just right off the bat and just let it fly. Because with Patrick Surtain being injured, if there is a weakness on the defense, it's in that secondary. So I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right. Puffy, who do you got, Puffy?
Yeah, I talked about the Broncos and their defense and this and that earlier, but again, you gotta beat the champs to be the champs, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs. But I want Mahomes to throw it to Worthy because he's on my fantasy team. First play of the game. So
that could happen too.
Yeah.
That could happen too.
Yeah, right. So I think you got two superior coaches, two Hall of Fame coaches going at each other, but Andy Reid, man, he in the big games, and I consider this a really big game for the Chiefs. They produce, and I think they produce in this game. This is good. I'm hoping this is the game of the week.
One of the two, anyways, for sure. I'm going to go Broncos. I just, I'm a Bo Nix supporter, but no, I don't know. I think the era of the Kansas City Chiefs is coming to its close. It was at its apex in the Super Bowl, and now it's just, and while I think the Chiefs will be, it'll be a close game. And I do want Worthy to get you a nice little 80-yard touchdown off the first play of the game, just so that helps you out. But I'm going to take the Broncos. I want Nick Bonito to get like 3 sacks on Mahomes and make Mahomes run for his life the rest of the game. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking for. So, but I am going to take the Broncos. It's at home, and I like the Broncos at home. So.
I will admit I had Broncos written down first, and I erased it.
I think.
And I do have a correction. The Broncos have not played the Chiefs yet. This is their first game.
Right.
I was thinking of the Chargers beating the Chiefs in the first week.
That was the Chargers. The Chargers. Yeah, this is the first one. If this was in Kansas City, I probably would take the Chiefs, but I'm taking the Broncos at home. They played them pretty well there last year. It was just a dink of the. If I remember right, it was just a dink off the upright that cost them that game. So,
Doink.
All right. So I'm taking the Broncos. All right, Puffy, Ravens at the Browns. Battle for last place, I think.
Yeah, and
now Ravens are in second, actually.
Yeah. They're on like 4 and 5 or 4, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Ravens are on a little tear. I'm still not a believer in the Ravens. I actually think the Ravens are done. But for the not in this game. They're going to beat the crap out of them. But out of the Browns. But I think the Ravens are in. They're gonna if they get to the playoffs, they're gonna limp in. They're gonna literally limp into the playoffs.
Well,
I don't think they are a good cohesive team, and I think there's something majorly wrong with the Ravens. But Ravens win this game, and they probably beat the snot out of them.
Was Lamar hurt?
He was hurt in the year. He's been hurt, but I don't think he's hurt for this game.
I had.
He's been back.
My notes were up, and it said he's still nursing that knee issue. Maybe he was nursing it in the if he was nursing against the Vikings, I didn't see it. So
yeah.
Sorry, and you're taking the Ravens. Eric, who do you got?
Yeah, in my Who Cares Game of the Week segment, I'm taking the Ravens over the Browns.
Yeah.
This is one of those games I don't care if we see a highlight at all.
This is one that could just be a radio game for all I care.
I just want to see Henry get 100 yards.
Yeah, I do too. And
bulldoze, just bulldoze.
Well, the Browns stuffed him the first game they played. We'll see if he can get it to this game. All right, and then we got the Lions at the Eagles. Eric, take us through it.
Yeah, it's a tough game. be a good game for sure. I hope anyway, but I just think the Lions are the better football team. I still see them coming into Philadelphia and winning this game.
Puffy.
I see the Lions beating the brakes off the Eagles in this game. I don't think, using Eric's words, I really think the Lions are a superior football team, and I think they have the right formula now with the Eagles in disarray and all the things. This will tell where the Eagles are going to go. They're either going to go on a losing tear or they're a winning tear. If the Eagles can get through this game and they beat the Lions, then maybe we see some of the, last year's Eagles. But I think the Lions win this, and they should win this pretty handily. Double digits.
Double digits.
Ooh.
Very good. I'm taking the Lions as well. There's not very much happiness. They may be winning, but I don't know if they're happy wins in Philadelphia. So I'm going to take the Lions as well. We very well could look at another dismantling like they did against the Commanders. If just stay on that type of that play calling and mindset, and you'll be good. All right. And last but not least, Monday night. I don't even want to preview this game. I don't. I would have thought that the Cowboys would have handled the Arizona Cardinals, and they didn't. And whatever they are playing the Raiders. I hear chants of get rid of Geno Smith every game for my Raiders fans. So I don't know if, but if there's a game that the Raiders can win, this is the game. God, I'm taking the Cowboys, but man, I'm doing it against my will. I'm blinking twice because I'm under duress. Bye weeks are usually good for the Cowboys, though. So coming back after a bye week, historically, we'll see. So I'll take the Cowboys. Puffy, who do you got?
Well, this will be an away home game for the Cowboys. There'll be a lot of Cowboys fans in that stadium in Vegas, just like they do in Arizona. I lived in Las Vegas for 4 years. It's very, very Cowboy friendly. I see the Cowboys winning this one. I think that hopefully the bye week, just like you said, they do come off of bye weeks pretty strong, and usually have a good game plan. So I think the Cowboys have a good game plan. Dak goes off. They run the ball well. They play decent defense. Hopefully, their defense is terrible, but it is the Raiders, and I think the Cowboys win this.
All right, Eric, close us out.
Yeah, I definitely think the Cowboys will win this game. Their offense is pretty solid, good offense, and the Raiders offense struggling all year. Even though with Bowers back, it's getting a little bit better. I still think the Cowboys win this game pretty easily.
All right. I make a public apology to my good friend Amber. I that really was not meant to be anything other than that. So I do apologize, Amber, if you're out there watching. From the bottom of my heart. With that being said, what are the 3 things we're looking for, Eric?
Well, as I look at the schedule, there's a good slate of games this week. I really like what I see. The Carolina, Atlanta, that's still if these teams play to their potential, that could be a stout game. Tampa, Buffalo, Kansas City, Denver, Seattle, Rams, Detroit, Philadelphia. There's a lot of potential this week. So if these teams can play to how they're supposed to play and to their true potential, this could be a barn burner of a weekend and really kind of propel us with momentum into these stretch games as we start to get into the latter part of the season. So I'm really looking forward to these games, see how these top performers play.
Very good. And Puffy, what do you got?
Yeah, maybe we start seeing some good football with some of these matchups. You know, I mean, it's ripe. I mean, we dissected 4 or 5 pretty good matchups, and we didn't talk about the Falcons Carolina game, and we didn't talk about Seattle and the Rams, which I think are 2 great matchups as well. So the table has been set for the NFL to provide a very good product this week for the fans. The other thing the other thing I'm looking for is I think Seattle's going to show the NFL that they are the top team in the NFL.
Seattle?
This Seattle Seahawks. I think they're the number 1 team in the NFL. They're playing super solid football. They have an MVP candidate in the quarterback. I think Seattle is on the rise, and I think if they dismantle the Rams or just beat the Rams, they've got to be considered the top team from, the whole offensively, defense, the whole 9 yards. I know they're playing super good defense right now. They're playing super good offense. I think they're the most solid football team out there. So we'll see what happens there. And then the Lions Eagles. What are the Eagles going to do? What direction are they going to go in? Those are the things that I'm looking forward to.
You got it right. I mean, that game is for the division lead with the Seahawks and Rams. So excellent call on that. You got an argument there. The only team better technically are the Colts and the Broncos, Colts, and the Patriots on the AFC side are the only ones making an argument for with the Seahawks and the Rams and the Eagles. So. You got 3 teams at 8-2 in the AFC though. That's pretty great. Well, the Steelers are leading that division at 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna limp into that, possibly into that playoff under 500. I mean, we talked about it. Tomlin not being below 500, but I don't know. I mean, the good thing, like it's good for the Patriots, or excuse me, it's good for the Steelers to have the Bengals in this game to kind of get away from that edge of 500 for at least a week or 2. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just looking for the Cowboys to finally play cowboy football. I want to see who bounces back. Like you said, we talked about the Bucs or the Bills. I picked the Bills, but my heart is with the Bucs in this game, obviously. And then can the Dolphins? Are they going to continue to go on that path that we saw? That was a good path. If there was a time to break it, that was the game to do it, and start driving towards. I mean, because what are they out? I mean, 3-7, technically not mathematically out of it yet. So, put together a good string of wins. You never know. We'll see how that goes. And again, if I said anything bad about the refs in the NFL, they probably were at my son's game on Friday. And making penalty calls in that game. I hope they're not there tomorrow night. First playoff game. So shout out to the boys and our alma mater, Choctaw, or mine and Amber's alma mater is Choctaw. They are in the playoffs as well. So good luck to them. We'll be back next week. As always, I appreciate you guys for coming out. Anything to say before we go?
Welcome back, Puffy.
Yes, it was weird. I'm still digging. It's gonna take me over a week to dig out.
That's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Lorraine. I said I don't know if he'll be there. He's probably. I mean, he's got 42 days worth of of work to catch up on. So that's
Yeah, Brandy called me as I was finishing up, and I was like, "Oh, I just got to read this one, other email. I got to look at this." She's like, "You know what? It's going to be there tomorrow. And it's going to be there the next day. You're not going to catch up anytime soon." So I'm like, "You know what? You're right."
right. Yeah.
I started signing off of everything, and yep, and here I am.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming back. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your football weekend. Go Sooners.
God bless.
Go Cowboys. And we'll see you.
All right.
Go Navy.
If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment